I literally never thought I would see the day when every single person likes a horror movie. I haven't seen one person dislike this movie, and I think that's for very good reason. That's my cat, Mochi. So today I'm going to do a little obsession mini analysis and mini review. It will be full spoilers, but I mostly want to talk about why I think this is such a fantastic movie and why everybody loves it so much. And it has like so many ingredients that modern horror is missing. So first and foremost, I think just on like a personal level, I was really obsessed with the visuals of this movie. This includes like the cinematography and the production design, but I just was so impressed with how liminal it felt. The aspect ratio was like slightly squished, and it was so uncomfortable because it was like in between standard format and a square. Really just a little squished, little weird, not too artsy. Like it did not lean artsy at all, which is so fun for me because it's like a hyper entertaining movie. But anyway, it had this liminal horror that was super inspired by Japanese paranormal movies, specifically Pulse. They add a lot of fog and very like liminal space vibe in a lot of the scenes, almost like you're in a dream. But I think in Obsession, the liminal vibe was extremely creepy rather than like almost emotional, like a lot of Japanese horror does when they make it dreamlike. This was not an emotional movie. It was a very gory, crazy movie. And with the combination of all those things, with the weird chopped up dialogue they did in the beginning, the whole entire movie kind of feels like you're in a liminal space of time. Like when you're leaving for the airport in the early morning, that's how the film felt. It felt like you were in that weird twilight zone. And in the morning, the first night that Nikki stays over, when he wakes up, there's this bird sound effect. I think it's like the mourning dove sound effect. And it just was perfectly nostalgic at the same time as creepy. So they nailed this atmosphere. Like cinematography and production design nailed this liminal dreamlike atmosphere. And sneakily, there's no pleasant location to leave to because you are slowly getting trapped in unpleasant locations, and you start off in like an okay location, like you're in this bar, and then slowly as the movie progresses, it squishes you into just that apartment or just a car, and it's super claustrophobic and you don't realize it's happening. The next thing is the ethos of the film was so strong and so intelligent. I'm so impressed by what they did with this. Everybody wants something in this movie, and you can feel the energy and the tension and the buildup between having it and getting it and the journey there. And fundamentally, this movie asks the question, what would it be like if what you wanted superseded literally everything else and it destroyed the natural order of getting things that you want? And that would be a universe where you don't need pain or struggle or sacrifice, and you literally just get what you want right away. Nikki wanted to be a writer. That's very important. Sarah wanted to go to art school, and Ian wants to have fun and to experience, and he's obviously in love with Nikki. So everyone wants something tangible. But all Bear wants is Nikki. But honestly, it doesn't actually have to be Nikki because he doesn't love her the way he thinks he does. He's hyper fixated on love and connection and attraction and gaining that, but he actually doesn't really care about who it is with. And you can see this when he literally starts to fall in love with Sarah the minute that he sees that as a pathway for that connection in the car. Like the minute things go wrong with Nikki, he starts being like, Sarah, you were here all along. Because he doesn't really know Nikki at all. Because he's picking up on zero social cues and he doesn't understand her at all. I knew the minute that they introduced the two characters, Nikki and Ian, that they were boning. I literally knew it. Like, I guessed it in my head. I'm like, they have some kind of chemistry. They have the same personality type. Whatever. Bear is super stupid. He's not seeing this. He's not seeing Nikki as a person. So Bear, in my opinion, has like an underdeveloped ego and an underdeveloped self-awareness. So he's not a narcissist or anything. He's just almost parasitic in his need for love because he has nothing else. He can't exist on his own because he doesn't have a goal. He doesn't have any obsession other than something that he can attach himself onto. And that makes for an extremely interesting character because Bear is not like outwardly villainous, but he's actually just deeply selfish. Like when he gets the wish, he never thinks of just wishing his cat back to life. He's like, damn, I wish my cat was alive. Do you not care about your cat? Like, it's actually crazy. And even when he gets the chance to like fix it, he doesn't wish that he never made the wish. He wishes, I wish Nikki just loved me as a friend. What? Bear has constructed an idea of Nikki in his head that is not remotely aligned with who she is as a person. So he already had one foot in the door with dehumanizing her, and that made it super easy for him to slip into taking full advantage of her when he's able to. And when that dehumanization that he's been doing actually manifested, he grapes her, basically. Well, literally. And him being disarmingly awkward and charming does not make it so what he's doing isn't extremely, like, evil, basically. It's so selfish that it's evil. Another thing is that the film treats its audience with a lot of intelligence and doesn't really need to over-explain itself. And that makes for a way creepier atmosphere than the over-explaining that I'm seeing happen a lot in modern movies. Like, they almost make the movie so you can watch it while you're on your phone, and that's really annoying. And I'm not gonna say anything about The Boys yet because it's not over, but season 5 is completely ass. It's so stupid, and it's like, why are we making everything stupid? I'm specifically thinking about the monologues from Nikki, the one about her hands and body going numb from blood loss. Wow, that was just haunting and beautiful. Crazy good writing. But then also the Hansel and Gretel poem, that was so scary and messed up, but it was extremely elevated. And when you marry this elevated writing with comedic timing and like super funny kind of dark humor scenes without going like too edgy, weird dark humor, you're making like a fucking masterpiece, and it's so impressive and fun to watch, most of all. And they use a lot of restraint when they're world building around this creature controlling Nikki, because it's never really categorized as a creature or even seen as one. And it's not even seen as like a sunken place or a ghost. It's seen as something very mysterious. It's almost like hell, and it's not hell. And the mystery is what makes it intriguing and also liminal and freaky. It makes your skin crawl, basically. We can wrap our brain around monsters and shit, like, but stuff where it's like you're stuck and I don't know where you are, but you're in hell, but you're not, is way scarier, especially to like a modern horror audience. It was definitely written for people that watch a lot of horror. There's also a lot of rich symbolism and themes, like her writing her poem about Hansel and Gretel, I think ties into the main theme of this film, because Hansel and Gretel is inherently about two kids on a journey where they outwit and defeat a witch using like resilience and cunning. And it's kind of this story with a vibe of like growing up, accomplishing things. And the gingerbread house in Hansel and Gretel represents like a fake salvation, like a temptation that is actually a trap. And I think Nikki in this situation is obviously the fake gingerbread house because she's very sweet on the outside and appealing to Bear, but this is a trap because nothing comes like this. It's against the natural order. And it's funny to make a story about two people working really hard to defeat a witch, tying into a story where some dude does not want to work for anything. Like, for what's seemingly most important to him, he doesn't even care about that much. Love, and Nikki's love specifically, but it could be literally any woman, is the fake salvation that Bear needs to keep on going. What's funny is like even when Nikki is in his bed the first night, he doesn't even want to hang out with her. Like he literally puts her to bed and then goes and sits in a chair in the living room. And it's like, why are you not You don't actually care about her being there. You like, what? He is maybe unknowingly like tumorous, basically. And the willow toy itself ties into the symbolism of the willow tree, whose branches are very flexible because they can withstand storms. So it's like this giant tree that is flexible and adaptable. And how do you get those traits of flexibility and resilience and strength? The journey and the hardships. But Bear doesn't want the journey, he wants the end. And the end is great. Like, being in love with someone is great. You know, the first scene where they are kissing, and I think it's Surf Curse is playing. Genuinely one of my favorite bands of all time, so I'm like really, really, really biased towards this movie. But it shows like the end of like this thing that Bear wants in a nice light, because it is a good ending. It's good to be in love with someone. It's good to make out to Surf Curse. Like, that's fun. That's awesome. But it's creepy and unsettling because he didn't do any of the work to get there. That's the scary part, and that's what makes this movie so brilliant. And lastly, one of the hallmarks of a great horror universe is stellar graphic design, because, super biased take, horror has the best graphic design of all films, and it always has, I think. But not only is the graphic design incredible of like the toy, and like I'm obsessed with the toy, okay, it's very cool. Not only is that incredible, but the visual like wardrobe stuff is extremely important and very, very good. Like, Nikki's wardrobe changes because she isn't herself, and it so drastically changes into something that like she thinks that Bear would like. And Bear is so plain that even the outfits that she chooses for Bear are very plain. Like, it's a direct reflection of how much he doesn't have anything going for him. So tie all that in to an awesome soundtrack, and I'm gonna like the movie, okay? I honestly think this is a strong 5 stars, and I haven't liked a movie this much in a while. Definitely go see it. The last movie I liked this much was The Plague, but I think just on a personal level, this is so stylish that I'm like, this might be in my top 10, but I need to rewatch, obviously. I don't put something in my top 10 unless I've rewatched it 87 times. I genuinely watch Death Proof every 2 months. Every time I watch I, Tonya. Without fail. Oh my fucking god. I literally am so stupid. I just got chills right now thinking about the soundtrack to I, Tonya. I, Tonya's soundtrack is goated. Okay, anyway, that's my review. Had to say something, had to chime in, because this movie is so good that everyone's acting like they're a horror movie like lover from the start. No, you weren't, bitch. Get to the back of the line, bitch. Seriously. I'm just getting pissed. Also, Nikki's performance, I think her name's Indy, the actress. Career-defining performance. Wow. I just posted a video about the symbolism of rabbits in horror movies, and if that seems interesting to you, then go check it out. Just posted it yesterday, so